Hey everyone! Welcome back to Yusof Reacts. Today, we're diving into Marvel's long-awaited film, Black Widow. I'm Lois, and if you're a fan of the MCU, you won't want to miss this review. Let's get started. After years of waiting, Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow, finally gets her solo movie. Released in July 2021, this film takes us on an action-packed journey through Natasha's past and connects some dots in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, what's Black Widow all about? The story is set between the events of Captain America, Civil War and Avengers, Infinity War. It follows Natasha as she confronts her dark past and the family she left behind. Scarlett Johansson reprises her role as Natasha, bringing depth and intensity to the character. We also meet new characters like Yelena Belova, played by Florence Pugh, who delivers a standout performance. Let's talk about the plot. Natasha is on the run and finds herself drawn back into the life she thought she left behind. Alongside Yelena, they uncover a conspiracy tied to the Red Room, the organization that trained them. The film is filled with high-octane action sequences, emotional moments, and some much-needed humor. Director Cate Shortland does a fantastic job balancing the different tones. One of the film's strengths is its exploration of Natasha's character. We get to see her vulnerabilities, her strength, and what drives her. It's a fitting tribute to a beloved Avenger. Florence Pugh as Yelena is a revelation. She brings a fresh energy to the MCU, and her chemistry with Johansson is undeniable. David Harbour as Alexei Shostakov and Rachel Weisz as Melina Vostokoff also shine in their roles. Now, let's discuss the action. The fight scenes are choreographed beautifully, with a mix of brutal hand-to-hand combat and explosive set pieces. The Budapest sequence, in particular, stands out. The film also delves into themes of family and redemption. It's about confronting the past and making amends, which adds a layer of emotional depth to the story. But it's not all perfect. Some might find the pacing uneven, and the villain, Taskmaster, has sparked mixed reactions. While the character's reveal is intriguing, some fans were hoping for more development. Natasha Romanoff confronts the darker parts of her ledger when a dangerous conspiracy with ties to her past arises. In Marvel Studios' action-packed spy thriller Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff aka Black Widow confronts the darker parts of her ledger when a dangerous conspiracy with ties to her past arises. Pursued by a force that will stop at nothing to bring her down, Natasha must deal with her history as a spy and the broken relationships left in her wake long before she became an Avenger. In 1995, super soldier Alexei Shostakov David Harbour the Russian super soldier counterpart to Captain America and a father figure to Romanoff and Belova. And Black Widow Melina Vostokoff Rachel Weisz, a seasoned spy trained in the Red Room as a Black Widow and a mother figure to Romanoff and Belova, who is now one of the Red Room's lead scientists, work as Russian undercover agents. Posing as a family in Ohio with Natasha Romanoff Scarlett Johansson and Yelena Belova Florence Pugh as their daughters. They steal shield, intel and escape to Cuba where their boss, General Drakov Ray Winstone, Russian general and head of the Red Room program, has Romanoff and Belova taken to the Red Room for training. Yelena is happy to be back, but Natasha is distraught at leaving Ohio and doesn't want to go back into the Red Room program. Years pass, during which Shostakov is imprisoned in Russia while Romanoff defects to Hyold, after bombing Drakov's Budapest office and apparently killing him and his young daughter Antonia Olga Kurilenko. In 2016, Romanoff is a fugitive for violating the Sokovia Accords. The Sokovia Accords are a set of legal documents designed to regulate the activities of enhanced individuals, specifically for those who work for either government agencies such as Hyold, or for private organizations such as the Avengers. Established by the United Nations and ratified by 117 nations, the Accords serve as a middle point between the Avengers' desire to secure world peace and the international community's concern over the repercussions of the Avengers' actions. The Sokovia Accords caused a schism in the Avengers. While Tony Stark supported the Accords due to his role in the Ultron offensive, Steve Rogers recognized that the government having power over potential missions may be a terrible idea in an emergency, and disliked the authoritarian nature of its stipulations, noting that signing the Accords would be surrendering the right to choose. The schism came to a head when Helmut Zemo framed Bucky Barnes for a terrorist attack that occurred during the signing of the Accords. Combined with Zemo's exploitation of the schism, the Accords tore the Avengers apart, causing Stark's pro-Accords faction and Rogers' anti-Accords faction to destroy an airport as the former attempted to wrest the latter. The Accords caused the anti-Accords faction and Natasha Romanoff, who had been pro-Accords but betrayed Stark's faction knowing that Rogers would never stand down, to either become fugitives or be placed under house arrest, ruining any chance of coordinated defense. She escapes from U.S. Secretary of State Thaddeus Ross William Hurt, and flees to a safe house in Norway supplied by Rick Mason O.T. Fagbenle, an ally from Romanoff's ex Harold, past who is romantically interested in her. Meanwhile, Belova kills a rogue former Black Widow but comes in contact with a synthetic gas that neutralizes the Red Room's chemical mind control agent. Belova removes her own tracker, sends antidote vials to Romanoff, hoping she and the Avengers can free the other widows, and goes into hiding. When Romanoff is unknowingly driving with the vials in her car, Red Room agent Taskmaster attacks her. Romanoff realizes that the Taskmaster is interested in a case, and escapes from Taskmaster and finds that the vials came from Belova. It was collected by Mason from Natasha's hideout in Budapest. There she finds Belova, who reveals that Dreykov is alive, and the Red Room is still active. Black Widows and Taskmaster attack them, but Romanoff and Belova evade them and meet with Mason, who supplies them with a helicopter. Belova says that the antidote was created by a Black Widow from Melina's generation. Belova says Dreykov has killed many little girls, only 1 in 20 survives the training. The rest he kills, and the Black Widow program needs to stop. Romanoff and Belova break Shostakov out of prison. He was imprisoned by Dreykov, but he doesn't know why to learn Dreykov's location, and he directs them to Vostokoff, who lives on a farm outside St. Petersburg. There she is refining the chemical mind control process used on the widows. This is what Shostakov and Melina has stolen from Shield in the first place, all those years ago. Belova tells Melina that her mind control chemicals were used on her, and she only managed to get out because of the antidote, while Natasha abandoned her. Melina also tells Natasha that she was not abandoned by her parents. She was selected by a program that assessed genetic potential in infants, and her parents were paid off. But her mom kept looking for her, threatening the exposure of the Red Room, so Dreykov had her killed. Vostokoff alerts Dreykov and his agents arrive to take them, but Romanoff convinces Vostokoff to help them by informing her how her mind control research has been used to kill and maim Soviet girls all over the world, and the pair use face mask technology to switch places. The Taskmaster arrives, everyone is sedated and taken to the Red Room, which is a floating city in the sky. At the Red Room, Vostokoff frees Shostakov and Belova from their restraints. Dreykov sees through Romanoff's disguise and reveals that Taskmaster is Antonia, who suffered damage severe enough that Dreykov had to put technology in her head to save her, in turn creating the perfect soldier, capable of mimicking the actions and fighting styles of anyone she sees. Romanoff is unable to attack Dreykov due to a pheromone lock installed in every widow, but negates that by breaking her own nose and severing a nerve in her nasal passage. Shostakov battles Taskmaster while Vostokoff takes out one of the facility's engines. They then lock Taskmaster in a cell. Dreykov escapes as other Black Widows attack Romanoff, but Belova exposes them to the antidote. Romanoff copies the locations of other widows worldwide from Dreykov's computer as the facility begins to explode and fall. She retrieves 2 surviving antidote vials and frees Taskmaster from the locked cell. Vostokoff and Shostakov escape via a plane which loses control after they lose their vertical stabilizer and hence They can't get back to the Red Room to rescue the girls while Belova takes out Dracov's aircraft by destroying its engine with a pole. By the explosion throws her off the exploding deck of the Red Room, killing him. Romanoff, who was watching this, jumps after her. In free fall, Romanoff gives Belova a parachute before battling Taskmaster. After landing, Romanoff uses one antidote vial on Taskmaster and gives the other to Belova along with the locations of the other mind-controlled widows so she can find and free them. Belova, Vostokoff, and Shostakov say goodbye to Romanoff and leave with Antonia and the freed widows. 2 weeks later, Mason supplies Romanoff with a Quinjet to use in freeing the imprisoned Avengers. In a post-credits scene set after Romanoff's death, Valentina Allegra de Fontaine Julia Louis-Dreyfus blames her death on Clint Barton and assigns him as Belova's next target. Yes, the movie is an average film, but I enjoyed it because finally, I get to see where Black Widow came from. It's nice to see some of what made her, her. It is a shame that they didn't get more into it. I think the movie really could have given us more about the ruthless training and experiences that Widow had to endure. A lot of the movie was implied but not shown. The plot was simple. It was nice to have some new heroes and villains. I really liked the cast and the jokes were fun. But as I said before, the plot is very simple. Pretty much about killing a guy that we really didn't know or have any bad feelings for because we barely even got to see the man being evil. The movie lacked on showing the power of the widows. They had very spaced out and very few scenes of them. I did enjoy the sister dynamic of the two girls. It was fun to see them both in action and it was fun to see them bicker with each other. In a way, it is a sad movie. With what happened in the previous film, did it do the Black Widow justice? It really could have been better by showing more. It missed all the heartstring moments, giving us more of an eye candy film with not much depth. Despite these minor flaws, Black Widow is a strong entry in the MCU. It's an action-packed, emotional farewell to a character we've come to love. So, should you watch Black Widow? Absolutely. It's a must-see for Marvel fans and a great addition to the MCU. Have you seen the movie? What did you think? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.